switch the goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide, nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time. In these, are featherweight and super comfortable.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around your shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material's soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material's soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. First thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. I feel secure and locked in. My first impressions of the GOATS guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. These guards don't move. The first thing I notice is that these guards don't move. Once they're in place, they stay there. I can tackle, sprint, or slide without adjusting them. I feel secure and locked in. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. My first impressions of the GOATS guards, honestly, super light and super clean. Straight away, you can tell they're built to move with you. No bulk, just sleek protection that actually feels pro. These grips actually help you push off. It's like every bit of power goes straight through the ground. No slip, no wasted energy. You feel sharper, quicker, and more connected. It's a proper level up. I can't believe my GOATS pack has arrived. My first impression of the GOATS grips, honestly, cleaned it.
Hi everyone, I hope you're well. Happy Thursday. It's just after 6:30 p.m. here in Brisbane, Australia. If you're in the UK and Europe, it's early morning. So a big welcome to everyone who's joining us. You might be watching this back on the recording if you are based in the USA and Canada as well. So a big thank you for joining us. We have got some amazing topics that we're going to cover today. So we're going to have a little look at, for the first part of our coaching call, we're going to be working on how our goalkeepers work with our defenders, which is going to be really, really important to cover and to work on. We have got a couple of small announcements as well. And as ever, we want you to drop in questions for us. So anything you want to ask us relating to football, soccer, your development, how to play particular positions, I want you to drop in as many questions as you can. So what we're going to have a little look at today, we've got an amazing one. We're going to be covering off a 15-minute masterclass and looking at set piece authority. And what that means is how the goalkeepers would set up, how the defenders would set up, and looking at areas like zonal marking, man-to-man, semi-zonal. The next session that we're going to look at is the role of a goalkeeper and looking at being a holding goalkeeper, but also looking at being what we call a sweeper keeper as well, okay? And it all links in to defensive players as well. So even if you're not a goalkeeper and you don't think this session's for you, it is, because it's going to teach you, and we're going to walk you through how you can integrate this into your training. So what we're going to do is, without further ado, we will just come across to our screen here, and hopefully you guys are all seeing my screen now. So a couple of little updates, guys. Again, as ever, we've had some really good posts coming in the past couple of days. We have put a little bit of information on about today's call and what we're covering, which is super exciting. And we will put more details in there at the end of the call. Really, really great post to see, and I want to showcase this one because for anyone who understands how difficult it is to learn a skill, whether it be around the world, whether it be a Messi, a Maradona, it takes a lot of work to get to this point, and I just want to showcase one of our players completing around the world on a video. Let's have a little look. Hopefully it'll play for us. Fantastic. So well done, Christian. That's so good to see. As we've said, the more you guys, boys and girls, learn to manipulate the ball and work with the ball on a daily basis, you are going to get so much better on here. Again, super impressed on the platform. Matt Wooden, Joshua Vella, Christian Boyle, Obrad, Jake Watson-Roddy, Khaleesi, Riley Williams, Alicia. You're all smashing out your wellness, your sleep trackers, your daily planners. Elijah Johnson over in the US, well done. Fantastic work, guys. It's amazing to see how much you're putting in and how much effort. And you're going to see the results. You are going to see the results. You're going to notice it in your games, and it's going to be really, really good to see. Now, we have got a little bit of update with the leaderboards. So on the 7-day leaderboard, out of the players, Khaleesi is still in top place. On the 30-day and the overall leaderboard, Khaleesi is still in top position as well. Xavier is still just pumping along, very, very close in behind Khaleesi, so well done. And it's good to see that Jen, one of our staff members, she's joining in the fun, and she's top of that leaderboard at the moment as she works through all of the players. So just a reminder, the 7-day, the 30-day and the all-time can only be won by players. It can't be won by staff members of mine. So Khaleesi, you don't need to worry. You're effectively still in first position, but it's good to see that Jen is leading the way and showing you what needs to be done on that level. Now, what we are going to do is I'm going to just load up my screen, and we are going to go into our first section. And we did drop a post in, which is super exciting to say that on the football mental strength, all of the videos are now in there. So if you click on any of the sections, there is a full 15 to 30 minute video explainer which walks you through how to go through that particular section and session. So if you go into any of the sections, you'll see the videos. They've all been built in there, and they're great ones to follow through for everyone. Now, on the community, obviously we dropped in what we're going to look at today. The first one we're going to have a look at is our set piece authority. Okay, dominating both boxes, and we're going to walk you through that. Again, if you've got any questions, please feel free, guys, to drop them in the comments in YouTube. But remember, as ever, you need to be a subscriber to our channel to be able to drop in a question. So if you're trying to drop a question in and it's not letting you, it's probably because you're not subscribed to our YouTube channel. So you need to make sure that you have subscribed. So what we are going to do is right now, I am just going to connect us up to our screen. So if you just bear with me for a moment, and we will have a look at our first section. Okay, so as mentioned, our first one that we're going to have a little look at today, and it's a great one to go through. It's our masterclass to dominate the boxes, okay? And we're going to have a little look specifically at set pieces, okay? Now, if you train properly as a coach, and if you work through with your players, or if you're a player, this could be a great one that you can actually take to your coach, and you can share this link. Now what we're going to start to do is to make it easy for everyone, rather than having to watch this all the way through this live call on the recording. We're actually going to start editing out the actual lessons on the whiteboard, so it might only be a 5 to 10 minute lesson, but these are great to showcase to your coaches and for your coaches to start working on. So one of the things that we want to cover off, okay, when we look at this, who should own in this situation? So let's imagine we're shooting in this direction and this is our goalkeeper. Who should own the 6-yard box? Now for anyone who doesn't know, you're probably wondering, what is the 6-yard box? Well, the 6-yard box is this, what I'm just drawing on the line there. That is our 6-yard box. So that is that area that we are talking about on there, okay? So it should always be owned by the goalkeeper, okay? Centre backs, you are there to protect the air, okay? That's what you're there for. Goalkeepers, we're looking for you to command the space, which means you are effectively the conductor. You're there conducting everyone in there. You're telling them what you need and what you don't need, okay? This way, when we look at centre backs are there to protect the air and defend the ball in the air by heading the ball away, and goalkeepers are there to command the space. Everyone is clear on responsibility. Now what we're going to have a little look at, we're going to have a little look at for a corner setup, and we've touched on this slightly before in the past, but we're going to have a little look at it and just see what it looks like, and we're going to explain a couple of situations, okay? So one of the things that we want you to think about, when you set up your defenders, you want your defenders on the outside of the 6-yard box. Now if we set up properly, we should be able to set up with 4 defenders, and they are going to mark zonally, okay? So when we talk about zonal marking, they are marking the space. They don't move where they are. Now we are trusting in our goalkeeper that our goalkeeper is going to look after this space inside the 6-yard box, and it should be easy for goalkeepers to look after this space, quite simply because they can use the hands, okay? Now what you are going to come up against as well is obviously defenders. We want you to attack the ball, not the man. So as the ball's arriving, we want you to attack the ball, okay? So we want you to have a strong aerial dominance. Protects the goalkeeper space as well. So what we don't want to get caught up in is we see it on the television, attacking players standing in front of the goalkeeper, attacking players standing behind the goalkeeper, so the attackers will position themselves like this and they'll try and squeeze the goalkeeper in. I would not be too concerned getting caught up with that, and I would leave it be, because if they don't allow the goalkeeper to move and get a run and get the hands up to try to get the ball, the referee is going to go in the goalkeeper's favour. So for me, it's not needed for the defenders to worry too much about this. The next two defenders we need to bring in is a defender on the front post and the defender on the back post. Now for me, these particular 6 players in total, they mark the space and they don't move. Now by doing this, we're going to allow our goalkeeper to dominate the 6-yard box with ease, relatively. And this is going to be a great thing for us to be able to focus and to work through. Now, what's the weakness? Okay, one of the weaknesses is that you've got late runners on the opposition who are running in and attacking. But again, if we hold our position zonally as a defender and we protect our goalkeeper, we should be okay in this particular situation. Now, zonal works if we attack the ball first. So the only time this works is if we attack first. And what do we mean by that? When that ball is coming in, we need to attack the ball. And what I mean by this is, if I'm this defender here, if this is me, and we know the ball's starting to lose trajectory and it's starting to go low, we can now leave our position to go and attack the ball and clear the ball. And we're hoping that we can put it up high and out wide up there. What we don't want from a zonal player, we don't want a zonal player to stay in the zone and stay in the space and not attack the ball. There's got to be a moment where one of the defenders actually thinks, right, I can attack this ball because the trajectory of the ball and the height is perfect for me to get to. Okay? Now, when we've got our goalkeeper and 6 players in zonal, I am happy for our other 4 players to go man to man or player to player. And where we want them to be, well, imagine the opposing team have got players set up here. We will put 1 there, 1 there, 1 there, and 1 there. And we'll go man to man around the box. We are not concerned with players over here, or over here. Because if they do get on the ball, then these defenders can come out and meet them and they can come and add pressure to them if and when that ball goes out there. But for me, I would be looking for my defenders to go man to man for the 4 remaining. So that in total means we've got 6 in zonal, 4 man to man, and then of course we've got our goalkeeper. And that would be my perfect setup. But some of the key points that we've got to think about is making sure we follow the ball and we attack the ball when it's coming into our space. Okay? Now, one of the big things that we can have a little look at as well is it's really important that we make the goalkeeper what we call a CEO. And we make the goalkeeper in charge of everything. So, what's the goalkeeper doing before the kick? Okay? We're hoping that the goalkeeper is doing these couple of things. And I'm going to go through these 4 things which are really important. Assign matchups. And what we mean by matchups, we mean these players 1, 2, 3, 4. And we want them what we call like for like, and we mean that on a size basis. So we're hoping that the goalkeeper's saying to Tommy, you go to that player because Tommy matches up in size. That means Tommy shouldn't get beaten to a ball in the air and can physically match that player because it can get hustle and tussle in there. Okay? What we want them to do as well, we want the goalkeepers to communicate constantly, because the goalkeeper is the only position that can see everything all the time because of where they're located. The third thing, we want the goalkeeper to ID the biggest threat. Now, the biggest threat might be on that team. You know they've got a striker who's really tall and is always scoring goals, okay? So that's what we want you to do as a goalkeeper. And the final thing is, we need the goalkeeper to make good decisions, and this is what we talk about. Are we going to catch or are we going to punch? And for me, that has got to be a goalkeeper's choice, and the goalkeeper has to make that decision. So hopefully that's our little short session, and there's a little bit more information and detail I've done on this and give you examples and samples. So we will share this back through the school platform, but that gives you a little bit of an idea on how you can dominate when you're defending set pieces, and specifically when we're defending corner balls from either corner when they're coming in from either side. So hopefully that gives you as a goalkeeper and as a defender a little bit of the setup. If you find that your coach has not even coached you on this stuff, this would be a great opportunity to just share this video with them. It is literally a 15-minute video. Share it with your coach, and if your coach wants to as well, they can actually jump onto YouTube, watch it, and they can share that around with you as a team. You can all watch the video back, and then when you go into practice on your training session, you can put it into play. And all the coach has got to worry about, if you are the coach and you're watching this, set up your 4 zonal players along your 6-yard box, set up a defender on front and back post, and then set up your remaining 4 players to go man to man. But you've got to make sure your goalkeeper's going to assign the matchups. You want the goalkeeper to communicate everything. What we don't want is defenders shouting, attackers shouting. We want one voice as a defensive team, and it's the goalkeeper's job to organise. We want the goalkeeper to identify the biggest threat. So if we know that particular team's got a really strong player in the air, we want to nominate our strongest player in the air to go against that player. And the final one is, as a coach, we should be having a conversation with the goalkeeper to say, I trust you, you're my goalkeeper, I want you to make a decision early. As the ball's coming in, make that decision. Are you going to catch or are you going to punch? And that way the goalkeeper, when he makes the decision or she makes the decision early, they are going to be in such a great position and situation. Guys, I hope you enjoyed that one as much as me. Again, it will be on the recording, and we are going to cut this up into an individual video for you as well. So this is going to be a great one for you to watch back, but also to show to your coach as well, and maybe your coach can help you guys set this up. And again, if your coach needs any help with this, they can drop us a message via the school platform, and they can jump in and sign up to become a member for a month and can ask me questions for some help and advice around this. What we are going to do now is we're going to drop back into our live screen, and we're going to just cover off a little bit about what we've coming up for the next part of the call. Next section that we're going to have a little look at is sweeper keeper versus a holding goalkeeper, and how that interplays with the defenders. So again, if you are a defender or a defensive midfielder, this is going to be for you as well. What we are going to do though, guys, before we go into that mini section as ever, I'm going to give everyone an opportunity. If you want to run and grab a quick drink, quick toilet break, get your pen and paper ready, and we'll be back with you after this short break, and we look forward to bringing the next section to you.
Don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Goats grips, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. They stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable. Definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around your shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match.
Hi everyone, welcome back. Hopefully you've got your pen and pads ready. So we are going to go straight into our next section. So I'm just going to share our screen here and we'll move back across and jump in. So super excited to cover this next section with us. So what we are going to have a little look at now is we're going to have a look at this sweeper keeper versus a holding keeper. So we are super excited to bring this to you and we'll walk you through this particular section as well. So what I'll do is hopefully you guys are seeing my screen now and we're going to have a little look at this particular section. So we're looking at holding goalkeeper versus a sweeper keeper. Now again, who makes this decision if you're going to do this? It should be the decision of the coach. It shouldn't be a goalkeeper decision, this one. But what kills me is that coaches, even coaching at under 10s or under 12s, they're not coaching this sort of stuff to the players. And I always ask the question why, and they always say, well, it's probably a little bit too advanced for our under 12s. And it's like, well, how do you know? Until you practice it and show them it, they're never going to get better at it. You don't coach a team of under 18s how to do holding goalkeeper or sweeper keeper and expect them to know it all and get it right. No team on the planet will know how to do this unless you coach them through it. So what I'm going to do is over the next 10 to 15 minutes, I'm going to walk you through this next section. So just bear with me as I set up. Never going to get better at it. So one of the things that we need to remember is obviously the game of football and soccer has changed. So modern goalkeepers aren't just there just to be in the goal and shot stopping and stopping the ball from going in the net. We need to make sure that goalkeepers become what we call a defensive weapon. And we want to get them involved in the game more, okay? Your job as a goalkeeper is to control a space and not just save shots. We want you to do more in the game. And the most modern coaches understand this and know how to coach it. And if you don't know how to coach it or you don't know how to play it, again, if you're a player and you watch this and you think, wow, like we don't cover this in training with our team, again, share this video to your coach. It's a YouTube link inside school, so they don't even need to be a member of school. Just share the YouTube link with them. And again, we don't want money or payment for sharing the video. Just share the video with your coaches, share it with your teammates. We want you to learn from this, okay? And we want you to make sure that you're developing as the best player you can be. So this is aimed at keepers and our defensive team, okay? So we've got to just ascertain a little bit about what the differences are. So let's say we've got a sweeper keeper. And we've also got what we call a holding keeper. Now, some of you might know and understand, but if you don't, I'll explain it for you. So, as a sweeper keeper, you are defending space, okay, behind your line. So, in a nutshell, that's what a sweeper keeper is. A holding goalkeeper, you're protecting the goal first, which means you're playing very deep, and you react late. And I'm not a fan of this. For me, I'm a real big fan of having a sweeper keeper. And I think it's only benefited the game for many, 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 many reasons. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to show you a little bit. Obviously, we can see our pitch set up. And I am just going to clear a little bit of this space off just so we can see. But what we're going to walk you through is, on this, is that we're going to imagine, if I just take this out for a second, we'll just clear all this off so we've got a bit more room. So when we're looking at our first section, okay, obviously to be a sweeper keeper, we're going to need to be higher up the pitch. So we're imagining our team's in possession. So we're in what we call BP, ball possession. We've got our back four nice and high. We've got our 2 holding mids. And then we've got our wide players. And we'll imagine the ball is there, currently on the pitch. So, what we need to make sure is, and I'm going to put some lines on the pitch. We need to make sure as a keeper, the space that we take up is roughly 15 to 20 metres in this section. Now, in the event our team loses the ball, we don't need to be rushing back to our goal straight away. We can hold and maintain, and it might mean we make a slight movement backwards. But when we move backwards, we don't look towards our goal. We always keep facing to the opposing goal. Okay? Now, the beauty of this is, if we lose the ball in here, and this player tries to play a quick through ball over the top, as a goalkeeper, we can move and we can block that ball. That is going to be relatively easy for us to do and for us to work on without much pressure. Now, if your team plays deep, your priority becomes set position and reaction, and we'll cover this in a moment. So, what I would do is, and we need to look at the framework for this, is when we're working through. As a goalkeeper, you need to think about, is it a slow through ball? And shall I attack the ball? Or have I got confidence that my defenders can deal with it? And this is where the goalkeeper, again, needs to be the CEO, needs to be the boss. And we need the goalkeeper to make sure they are communicating constantly. And in the first instance, with these 2 players, we need the goalkeeper to be calling out. If this player is called Tom and this player is called Sarah, we need the goalkeeper to be communicating constantly. Tom, your ball. Sarah, your ball. Okay? It's not 7 or 8 words or a big long sentence. Okay? It's getting them to acknowledge you've called the name and then giving them the instruction, your ball. Now, the clear lines of communication, it's got to be 2 to 3 words. Now, as a goalkeeper, you need to communicate this pre-game and speak to your centre-backs. Tell your centre-backs, this is what I'm going to communicate. Tom, your ball. Sarah, your ball. Okay? That is the trigger, and that's what they're listening for. Even if Sarah's looking this way and she's not looking backwards, she will know from that communication from the goalkeeper whether you're going to do it. And it's really, really, really important. Now, one of the other things that we want to have a little look at, and there's a lot to cover on this, and I'm not going to go into a lot of great detail, but I will post this within the post for everyone to have a read through. And there's a lot of stuff that I've wrote down over the past couple of days as I plan these sessions for you. But I want you to think about the distance between you and your defenders and the weight of the ball and the pace of the ball coming towards you. So it's really important that you as a goalkeeper start to recognise pace and height. And you start working out if it's your ball or if it's the defending ball. Okay? Now, 1 or 2 of the scenarios we can look at is we've got strikers running in, okay, and we've got a striker for the opposing team that's there, and we're worried that this striker is going to make this run into there. Well, what could you do to stop that? Well, quite simple you could do to stop that. You could tell Sarah, who's here, to maybe go touch tight and not allow the attacking player to get on the ball and to turn with the ball. Now, we've got to be careful when we play a high line that we have to make that decision about having a 2 meter distance or we go touch tight. Now, for me, in this scenario, when we're playing a high line and we're playing a sweeper keeper, I would like to see a bit of a mix between the two, probably a 1 meter distance, so the defenders have got enough room to turn if they need to, so their body position should be side on. And we're looking for the defenders to react in this situation, okay? We are going to have a little look at the next part of this, and the next part of this one is if we are playing very, very defensive and deep. But this only works if we're the goalkeeper there, and let's say our wide player's got the ball there, and we've got our defenders there, centre backs are in tight there, we got 2 holding mid, an attacking mid, a 9 and a 7 and 11, okay? We need to make sure if we're going to play this deep, you need to be communicating with Tom and Sarah. The minute this player loses BP and we transition to BPO, which means they're now in possession, so this player's won the ball again and we've now lost the ball, we need to make sure, okay, that again, as a goalkeeper, you are communicating to these players, and it's called a trigger. Now again, how will your players know this is called a trigger? Because your coach will walk you through this scenario. So we can do what's called a condition game, and in the condition game you can play this scenario out. When you call Tom or Sarah, okay, to drop, that is the trigger for the fullbacks and the holding mids to drop automatically 10 metres. Now, how do they know that? They know that by 2 ways. One is listening to your command. So if you say, Tom, Sarah, drop, again, that is the 2 to 3 words. You're being very concise. That is a trigger here for the fullbacks to drop, the holding mids to drop, and then everyone else should drop into position. And again, how do we practice this? We go into a condition game, and the condition is, Tom, Sarah, we're going to work with you and the goalkeeper, no matter what's going on in the pitch, no matter who's in possession. Once we lose the ball and it goes to BPO, which is here, and we lose the ball, we want you to communicate straight away, drop, Tom, Sarah, drop. And then we want to see if our wide players, fullbacks are reacting, if our holding mids are reacting. And every time they do it and they drop, okay, and this is what we're looking for in the drop, and I'll give you an example, I'll clear the screen. We're looking, when the goalkeepers give the signal, we're looking for the goalkeeper there, back four's dropped in tight, and we've at least got the holding mid. And that's what it needs to look like. It's a level of protection. Now, if the defensive team do this within 5 seconds, it's 1 point. If they don't, the attacking team can either get 1 point or they can get a penalty kick against you as a defending team. And you'll be amazed by playing this game with these conditions. You'll be amazed all of a sudden how our players have dropped 10 metres into these positions when they originally started higher up the pitch, because they're now learning to spot the trigger. But again, you only get good at this if you are practicing this on the training field. And again, for me, I would encourage coaches and players to share this video around. Get your players to watch it. Give it to them as homework. Again, it's a YouTube link. Just give them the link. They can click on it and watch it. And then put it into practice and training. And do it as a condition game. It's fun. Now, what you could do is you can do other things as well, where if the goalkeeper does the trigger and calls Tom, Sarah, drop, and they drop, and they win the ball back, they get 1 point. But if they then go on and score a goal, they get 5 points. So there's different ways you can change the conditions. But if we're not going to start coaching our players and goalkeepers and defenders these triggers, then we're not going to get good at it, okay? So this is playing, and this is looking at, okay, defending from a holding goalkeeper. Now, for me, people always say, Ray, what is the best way to do this? I think personally, I always like to play with a sweeper keeper. Always. I love to play a high line. I like putting pressures on the opposing team. However, there's going to come a moment when they're going to spring the trap and they're going to try and counter. And I think definitely in moments in the game, switching from being a sweeper keeper to being a holding goalkeeper by a trigger is a great way to coach your team. Hopefully you enjoyed that. Hopefully you learned a bit. And I'm going to encourage our players on the programme, if you're watching this live or you're watching it on a recording, get mum and dad to share the link with your coach, okay? And if you know you haven't covered this, ask your coach why you can't cover it. And I'm going to be honest, there's no reason why from 8 and 9 years of age upwards why you can't do this in training. It doesn't matter whether you play, 7 versus 7 on a weekend or you play 9 versus 9. You can adapt this to work. You've always got a goalkeeper. You've always got 3-4 defenders. You can adapt and make this work. And by adding these simple sessions in, it's going to make your team look good. It's going to make you perform better. But also, if you're a coach, you're going to be able to help your players develop. Because all of a sudden now, your goalkeepers and defenders and your team as a whole now understand what a sweeper keeper is. They now understand what a holding goalkeeper is. They now understand what triggers are. And also, off the previous video that we looked at, we were looking at things like set pieces and looking at zonal, semi-zonal and man-to-man. So hopefully you enjoyed that. I love putting this video together. Again, comment for me, guys, in the comments if there's a particular topic you want me to cover. Put a comment in if you enjoyed this as well. And also, if you're watching it on the live, tell me what the best bit was. Now, what we're going to do is, guys, we are going to just drop back into our live screen. And I'm just going to tell you what we're going to finish up with for the next 15 minutes or so that we've still got to go. So, again, a big thank you for joining us. We've still got about 15 minutes to go, and thank you for watching through that session. I'm just going to have a quick look. We've got a couple of little questions on here. Hi Ray, what is the prize for the people who logged plus 300 activities for the 7 days? Because I have. So what you need to do is, guys, on that particular post, put a comment in to say, hi Ray, it's John and I've completed the 7 days. I'll make a note, I'll comment back to you and I'll tell you what the prize is, okay? So what we're going to do is we are going to go to a very quick short break, run the bathroom, get a quick drink, and we'll be back with you after this short advertisement.
Don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats Grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost Grip, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear bulky guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around your shin.
No distractions, no readjusting, just focus on the match. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material's soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there. These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. What I like about these is you can wear them all day. Training, recovery, travel, they never lose shape. The material's soft and supportive. It's the perfect mix of comfort and performance.
Everyone, welcome back. So I'm just having a little look just to see if we've got any questions to help you out with. I don't think we've got any on the YouTube, but what I will is I'm just going to go back into school. There's a couple of areas that I just want to speak to you about and just have a chat. So we'll just see if we can come back in this way. There we go. So a couple of little posts that we put in today as well. I'm just going to see if I can find these posts that we chucked in a little bit earlier today, but they are all the way to the bottom because you guys are doing such a good job logging all of your wellness charts and all your different things in there. And I'm just going to see if I can find these particular videos that I dropped in today, and they should be here. So little one this morning, I thought this was quite funny. I don't know if anyone's seen the latest results in the Premier League, but unfortunately it looks like Arsenal are throwing away the Premier League again. We got everyone's a couple of little comments on here, but I don't know if you've seen it, but Arsenal were winning 2-0 and they ended up drawing 2-2 against bottom of the league, which was Wolves. And we seen this video today and I thought I'd share it. I think Arsenal have lost, I think they've dropped 6 points in the last 3 games with all the draws, which is pretty not good for them. And Man City are breathing down the neck. So what I want to ask you guys, drop it in the comments on this post or drop it in YouTube. Who's going to win the league? Is it going to be Manchester City or is it going to be Arsenal? Or do you think it's going to be someone different? Do you think Aston Villa can do it? It's going to be an interesting run-in, to say the least, on who's going to get it. Another little final one, we did put a little post on here earlier on today, so if you want to have a little look, if you just search in the top bar who wins the EPL, it will show up the post that we dropped in for you, and you can have a little vote on there. And it's going to be an interesting run-in for the Premier League. People are asking me my predictions. I've said this since December and I was a big believer of it. Once Manchester City signed Semenyo, they obviously sorted Donnarumma earlier in the season as well, and then they also signed Guehi as the centre-back. I actually believe from that moment in December, Jan, that was the Premier League over. I think Man City are going to win it. I think they'll win it by probably 7 to 10 points in the end. Pep Guardiola has been there and done it so many times before, and he knows how to get it over the line. And I just think Arsenal, for some reason, just can't seem to get it over the line. And I think the problem for Arsenal is, if you're an Arsenal fan, too many are trying to focus on all 4 trophies. And for me, they should just do what Liverpool done last year. And Liverpool most definitely focused on the Premier League last year and got it over the line. And I think that's been Arsenal's downfall, because they're trying to chase all 4 trophies. And I just don't think they've got a squad good enough. And I think it's proved that when they've drew away to Wolves 2-2, who are bottom of the Premier League on 9 points. So some interesting ones in there. So as ever, guys, keep putting in your planners, keep putting in your wellness charts. A little bit of an update on where we are across the 210,000 communities on School. We are nearly inside the top 30. It's going to be exciting when we get inside here. We are currently sat at number 35. Okay, so we are moving up. Overall on sport, we are now, as we said on Tuesday's call, we're number 3 in sports, but we are the number 1 soccer and football provider on the School platform, which is so exciting. So that's a big thank you and a testament to you guys for helping us with this. But as ever, the more you like, the more you comment, the more you put posts in for us, the more you reply with video replies, the more it's going to help us, okay? So a big thank you for everyone who's been joining us so far on there. I'm going to drop back just into the live screen here now very quickly just to finish off. And I've got a couple of players who've dropped in and they seem to think Man City's going to win the Premier League. I think you're right. I think it's number 11 for Man City if they win it. That means there'll only be 9 titles behind Liverpool, so not too far behind. But does anyone think Arsenal can do it? Do you think they can get it organised? The big thing for Arsenal as well, they play Tottenham Hotspur, which is their derby at the weekend, which is super tricky. So if you want to, please drop in the comments any topics you want me to cover on any future calls, whether you drop it into the YouTube channel here or if you're going to drop it inside the School platform. And as ever, if you want to join us on the platform, all you've got to do is, you'll see it on this YouTube just below my head, school.com/pro player pathway. Finally, we are about to add in 1 or 2 additional live calls a week, and they're going to be more suited to our USA and Canada audience. And we are going to change 1 or 2 of the existing calls to fit in line with everyone. So we are super excited and super pumped to be adding them in as we start to position for the upcoming World Cup in the USA this year, which is going to be in July. So as ever, a big thank you from me, a big thank you for joining us. We've got no more questions in here, so I'm going to end the call. And what we will do is, in the next 24 hours, we'll drop this recording into School, and it's going to be dropped on YouTube. And then also what we're going to start to do is, we're going to start to edit out those 2 little mini sections and those 2 topics, so you can go directly to them, and we'll post them on YouTube as well. And then you can also then share them with your coaches and your mums and dads, and hopefully you can help your team get better at football and soccer. A big thank you, guys, and I'm going to leave you with this short ad.
You don't bunch up, you don't get sweaty. Simple as that.
One of the things I noticed about my Goats Grip socks is the grip runs across the whole panel, so there's no bunching or sliding in your boots.
These grip pads will help you not slip when you're going in for a tackle.
My old socks will get sweaty halfway through the game. Not with Ghost Grip, they stay cool and dry from start to finish.
These guards are so lightweight, you forget they're even there, but they still give solid protection. It's like full freedom to play a game without that clunky feeling. I used to wear boggy guards that slip down every game. These stay in place the whole time.
These shin pads are stretchy, durable, definitely not be ripping anytime soon.
Switch the goat sleeves now. They don't slip, they don't slide. Nice and snug, nice and tight.
It's crazy how light these things are. I've worn a lot of old school pads in my time, and these are featherweight and super comfortable.
Legend begins where heroes end.
Why are you still wearing those old clunky shin pads when you could be wearing these?
I used to struggle with shin guards sliding all game. These are a game changer. Put them on, you don't even notice them. They're comfortable, keep you going until finish.
It shows how fast you move on the pitch because it's stuck to the shin bone and does not slip and slide all around your shin.